All right. I almost forgot about this. It is Roadmap Roundup Day, or it was yesterday, and I was going to go play Foxhole, and I almost forgot. So, yeah, by the way, Planes update in Foxhole, if you guys are Foxhole fans, pretty cool if you used to play it and want to check it out. But for Roadmap Roundup, we start out with 4.6 stuff, where they added the resource gathering missions. These are kind of whatever-ish. I was just trying to do them, but I tried to do them in the Moth, and the Moth was broken. But basically what they have done is the thing that they're not really addressing here, that they have addressed in, I believe, the monthly report, is both of these mission types have a new feature to them as part of probably their Mission 2.0 initiatives, is they have their intro mission, which is fairly easy. And what they do differently with salvage, for example, is you have your normal salvage mission where you like go and salvage I had a Titan, and you have to salvage a little bit of RMC off of it, and then you complete it. Well, now you don't complete the mission, you complete a portion of it, and then it goes, you scraped one SU of RMC. We want that, and then we'll give you a reward. So it goes from your old salvage missions that you had before into also a hauling mission that you have to go and deliver the RMC to them, and then you get a payment. Sort of the same thing with mining. Go out, find some gems, drop them off. It's a horrible experience to drop off gems. There's the image on the website of them showing this. It was absolutely hilarious with a bunch of just gems on the ground. Dumb implementation, really, really bad. But because they just didn't add the terminals to drop gems off there. It's really goofy at outposts. So another thing that they just don't play their game, don't do like play testing in the way that we would, don't utilize us at the right times in the right ways. So they just have really weird game design on certain things. The very special things that these two missions do, I'm still not aware of what happens in the mining missions, but the salvage missions will, in case you're not aware, there's 3 types of construction material salvage. They use or, the word OR, not ORE, or in their mission logic. So it will say you can deliver 1 SCU of construction material salvage, construction material, or construction material rubble, or construction material pieces. So now there's missions where there's options for what you can bring in. Somebody in my chat told me those are in the mining missions too, but I don't know what the options are in those. So that's like the functionality of missions that these bring in. So yes, there's gathering missions. They're not very good. Reputation, even though they say is not involved that much. But yet, like, you don't get reputation-based rewards, nothing really good there. Hopefully they do that. But now you have different options to turn in, which can be added to other types of missions as well, right? Then obviously you have the Argo Moth, the Medical Light Armor, and then 4.7, they have added the Claw Salamanders faction outfits, implementing multiple outfit variants for the Claw Salamanders gang. So this is a new gang. Heavy combat armor and light combat armor. And I think the big stuff is in the progress tracker, but my mod, Frosty, is very good at this since I am not. And he gave us a look at all of the stuff. So let's look at the claw first, actually. This is the claw. So Tusken Raider on the left, for sure. And very similar to some other stuff that we've seen in the middle and the right. Like, this armor we actually have already in the game, pretty much, right? With this at the 890 jump mission. So that's what that looks like with color. This is your heavy armor. We saw this at CitizenCon 2023. And then this is your light armor, which again, very much something we have seen before at the 890 jump mission. So this is not new, but is maybe slightly adjusted, right? I mean, that helmet already exists for sure. So those are the new images that were added, right? And if we go back to Roadmap Roundup, that's all it says here. This card has received a new visual. This card has received a new visual. And then this has been sent as tentative, and you could see they're just showing you concept art for it. Now, the progress tracker stuff usually is not worth paying too much attention to. They're just letting you know that crafting tier 0, they've extended the time that they're going to be working on it through March. Same with the inventory. And the vehicle command module, they're going to extend towards May. I think this one is probably a good date of ending because we believe that the Ironclad will come at Invictus in May. And then FPS radar and scanning was put on there to end in May. So do what you want with that. And then the best thing that we could do here with instancing is go, whoa, instancing is probably not coming anytime soon, where we can use this to determine not the release date, but certainly not we can determine that it's not going to be in 4.7. We can determine that it's not going to be in 4.8 probably, right? So we can use this information for that. And then this is a big one here. So if you're looking at the Moth, for example, and going, hey, what do I do with, like, hey, we got 3 RMC lasers. That's great. What do I do with the RMC? This is kind of what I believe will start to bring value to RMC in the verse. Other than just selling it, right? Introducing the ability for larger ships to rearm, repair, and restock other ships in their hangar. Repairing is done with RMC. So what we do know about this is you need to have RMC on the ship's cargo hold in order to repair, rearm, and or at least repair ships that are landing on your ship. This is what they have spoken about. So the idea of going out and getting your own RMC would be a great thing. And the assumption here would be is that the economy team would likely bump up the cost of doing this at space stations to hopefully prioritize you doing that on your own. Yeah, I see Abe typing the same thing in chat. Like, the stations would be hopefully the less viable thing to do, and you taking care of it yourself would be the more efficient way. And that would kind of push you to not only have larger ships and crew together, but yeah, less what we have now about repair, rearm, and restock, which is, it's not a gold sink. So now you have the choice of time sink or gold sink of buying the required materials to do this, or the time sink of getting them yourself. So fingers crossed on that. The dates don't really matter here. It's, if you're looking at this and you thought that this was like kind of a nothing burger, I think game economy wise, it's one of the most important things we've seen them work on to date. Do we need more important things like player trading or something like that? Of course. But that was a quick and dirty roadmap roundup. Yeah. So nothing really new being added to 4.7, even though Niku said there's more in 4.7 that's not there. Did he mean the Claw Salamander's faction outfit? I have no idea. You have to assume that we're going to get a PTU for 4.7 relatively soon-ish, right? So you would assume they've want to get that into testing fairly early, so we'll have to see what happens there. But that's our roadmap roundup. Let me know what you guys think on these kind of things. But yeah, we got to get some crafting testing in and things like that. So 4.7 is in March, right? So yeah. Inventory rework looks like release date they've already decided potentially is March 27th. If that's what you want to look into, is it won't be the beginning of March, it'll be the end of March. To take a peek at when we think 4.7 will release. That's another thing that maybe you can do with this progress tracker thing, given that we know the plan is to get crafting in. So March 27th sounds like the day. What day of the week is March 27th? It's a Friday. So CIG is released on a Friday before. So that wouldn't be a surprise. I know tracker has no meaning to dates, but this still can give you a rough estimate because they've already told us when they want to release crafting. So we kind of have a date on crafting. So this gives us a release potentially release window of 4.7, right? Whereas when we're talking about May and July, now we're, I don't know. I think it's more meaningful nowadays than it was before. Because Invictus is probably around May 29th. And then you could see that instancing is probably a month into that 2-month patch. Or, no, July 31st would be the next patch, right? So it would be 2 months, May, June, July. So yeah, you can kind of say, okay, this is 4.8, this is 4.9. You could kind of start looking at what their plans are, what their actual execution will be. Is it something entirely different? Oh, the doggo's here. Everybody say hi to Clover. But yeah, that'll do it. That is our roadmap roundup. And the door just opened, so we're going to investigate. That was roadmap roundup, and we will we'll continue on with our live stream. But like, subscribe, all that stuff for you YouTube folks.